Hey guys, it's Jeff. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's watching this. If you are a deployed soldier or airman, sailor, marine, happy Thanksgiving to you. We're thinking about you. You're in our thoughts and prayers. We care about you and we look forward to seeing you come back. And it's been a especially interesting week or past couple of weeks with some major court cases that I want to talk about real quick. But before I do, I just want to wish a happy Thanksgiving to Kyle Rittenhouse and to the Ahmaud Arbery family. I know that justice has been served this week, and I wanted to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. So I want to talk about these cases and some of my takeaways from them coming up. Hey guys, so this is one of those videos I've been really struggling with making, and I don't really want to get into the details of the trial. I think there are a ton of legal analysis channels out there that we can all learn from if we're really interested in the nuts and bolts of how cases work. But at a higher level, I think as concealed carriers, as concerned citizens, as watchdogs or sheepdogs in our communities, people that care about our families and take our self-defense and our self-preservation seriously, I think there's things that we can learn in these cases that are important to know before you ever have to get into a self-defense situation or have to use your firearm in any capacity. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about is, one of the first things I want to talk about is anything you say to anybody in official capacity can and will be used against you when you get into court. Now, whether that's a district attorney in a deposition, or if it's just talking to the police officer or even the 911 caller, when you start to officially engage with government employees in any capacity, what you say can and will be used against you. And not only that, all of your social media, all of your history, that'll all be used as well to build a perception or a character about who you are and help form an opinion as to whether what you did was justified or if there were other deeper, more entrenched motives as to why you would do something, right? So one thing to take away is the right of self-defense is a human right. We are born with that right. Government doesn't give us that right. They don't enshrine it into who we are through a Bill of Rights or anything like that. What we have, though, is we have laws out there that create a minefield of navigation for us as gun owners and concealed carriers that we have to understand and navigate whenever we get into a position where we have to use that firearm for any reason. We need to know this in advance. This isn't the kind of thing that you want to cram for the night before the test. You want to know this stuff before you ever have to pull your firearm out, before you even go and purchase your first firearm. This is the kind of information you should know going into it. If there's any recommendation that I would say to take away from this video, it would be to be involved politically. Now, that could be as much as getting, volunteering at a phone bank, finding politicians that you support and donating to their campaigns. But getting involved with legislation and with the politicians that enact and enforce these laws is important to be involved in. Because if you let somebody else make this decision for you, you may have to live by that decision moving forward. And you want to be involved in the process of putting these people into positions of power, not succumb to the other people's decisions of who they've put into power. Because you may not like the results. We see that in Wisconsin. The prosecutor there was very politically active, very politically motivated in his actions, and Kyle Rittenhouse went to trial for something that was clearly and obviously a self-defense case. But he was trying to appease the mob and the woke politicians in that area that didn't want to have any more riots because of Bill not charging Kyle Rittenhouse with these murders. So be involved. You could be a truck driver who's never run for any office whatsoever, but you could put your name in the hat and get elected to your state senate, as we've seen recently. I think it was in New Jersey. A truck driver put his name in the hat and he got elected to the state senate. So congratulations to him. He got pissed off enough that he said, I'm going to throw my name in the hat, and he actually won. So that can happen. Those kinds of things do happen. So be involved. Be involved as much as you're capable of being involved. because it's better to take an ounce of prevention than look for a pound of cure when you have to use your firearm in any capacity. The other thing is don't think that any legal aid that you may be paying for is going to protect you if you use your firearm in a questionable manner. Not knowing the law is not an excuse for a prosecution to how you used your firearm. You are responsible for every bullet that comes out of that gun, and you can be tried for a misuse of that firearm. So knowing the law before you have to get into that position is going to prevent you from having to go to court or go to trial or even be detained for any amount of time if it's a clear self-defense situation. Now, there's lawyers out there who see a market opportunity to sell people an insurance policy that makes them think that if they ever have to use their firearm, that having a lawyer is going to keep them out of jail. Now, there's variances of that statement, but that's kind of a general statement, right? And there's a bunch of them out there. You can go search for them. If you haven't yet, you probably have heard of them. But I want to just caution anybody who feels like a legal assistance policy is going to keep you out of jail if you break the law. It's not. It's going to give you an attorney. It's going to give you some representation. It may even give you some bail money so you can get out of jail before trial. But if you have a bad shoot, if you break the law in the commission of a self-defense shooting, you will be tried for that violation of the law and you will go to jail for that. So no amount of legal assistance is going to keep you out of jail if you break the law. That's my point. Now, there are some of these organizations, and I'm not sponsored by any, so I'm not recommending one over the other. I don't personally have any of these, but I have learned about one that does a lot of training as part of a membership in their service. Now, if they are going to give you education and training and help make you a better concealed carrier, then I think it's worthwhile to consider that. But just know this, insurance companies are responsible for a lot of the legislation that gets enacted in the United States. They have political action committees and they do lobbying in Congress at all levels, at the state and at the federal level. These insurance companies are trying to save themselves money. And if they can enact laws that you and I have to live by that makes their payouts and their policies less liable or less lucrative, then they're going to enact those laws. So we've seen that in the auto industry. We've seen that in the rental industry, the home rental and the business rentals. It's always about saving lives. Everybody wants to save lives. Nobody wants to see lives taken. However, when you get an insurance company that's trying to put profits over freedom, you run into a sticky environment where it could be problematic. So just know, keep an eye on these insurance companies. They can go rogue, and if they start becoming politically active, that can be problematic for every concealed carrier out there. So just be aware of that. Find somebody that's going to help train you and educate you. And there are those groups out there. Again, I don't want to give any names, but you can throw in the comments section below if you want to offer up one that does, exactly what I'm talking about. Throw them out there. I obviously encourage that. Some basic legal advice, and obviously I'm not a lawyer, never been a lawyer, never will be a lawyer, but just somebody who kind of geeks out on this kind of stuff. I did study the law earlier on in my lifetime, and so I do find this interesting and fascinating around, some of the legal aspects to how these cases unfold and your rights, our rights, that kind of thing. So just some things that if I had to give you any tips at all, make sure that whenever you start making the notifications to government, like I said earlier, that you can articulate, right? You have to clearly be able to say, I feared for my life. And be cautious about what you say beyond that. Anything you say can and will be used against you. That's not a joke. They will use everything against you. They'll look at your social media posts. They'll look at your, how you've modified your firearm. They'll look at the kind of clothes you were wearing. If you were wearing an EDC loadout that included body armor and MOLLE belts and, level 3 retention holsters, you have engravings on your gun, go ahead and make my day, or smile, wait for flash. All of that is going to get used against you, right? I personally keep my carry gun as vanilla as possible. I don't want to hear about anything that was modified on my carry gun. I'm proficient with my carry gun, and I modify other guns. Range guns, guns that I shoot for fun, those can be modified. But the gun that I'm going to use for self-defense, whether it's home self-defense or on-body self-defense while I'm out in town, those guns stay as vanilla as possible. I don't want to hear about how you know, you had the intention to go out and harm others because you put an engraving on your gun, or you put a rapid fire trigger in your gun to make it more deadly. You know, we saw that again in the Rittenhouse as a most recent example, when the prosecutor talked about how hollow points are more deadly than full metal jacket rounds, etc., etc. I mean, just absurd nonsense. But to the uneducated juror, all they've got is a public official telling them that one type of bullet is more dangerous, or an engraving on your gun makes your intent more lethal, or, you know, stupid nonsense like that. But when you get into that trial, if you get into a trial, you don't want to have to defend those things. You don't want to have to defend your social media posts. You don't want to have to defend, you know, what you were wearing or how you were wearing it, or et cetera, et cetera. Just be aware that everything will be used against you. So live your life accordingly. And you know, that's just a recommendation. Obviously, you do what you think is important. If you want to put that trigger in, you want to put those optics on there, you know, whatever. It's your gun. You do whatever you want. Just know it can and will be used against you. If I could just ask one favor from you, you know, you guys have made it this far. I thank you for checking out this video. But if I could ask just one favor from you, if you could give me a like, and maybe even throw a comment if you're so inclined. But that like button really does help. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with the monetization. It helps with future monetization of this kind of content. I mean, you guys have probably heard the song and dance, you know, the Bleeding Heart, that this kind of content takes a while to produce and put out there for you guys. These videos are not being monetized anymore. Very rarely are they being monetized anymore. So a little bit of engagement from you can have a big impact in telling YouTube that this is the kind of content that you want to see on their platform. But know that I am diversifying, and you can find links to my other diversification stuff below. But a big one that I'm looking at right now is Rumble. Rumble's been very good as far as allowing firearms content to be monetized on their platform. So if you can Rumble my content, if you're watching over there, and give it a like on Rumble as well. But whatever social media platform you're on, if you could give me a like, it really does help. It helps in all of the social media platforms. It sends a message to the oligarchs and the tech monopolies that this matters. This kind of content matters to you. If we only get 50 likes, well, that's, you know, 50 people that show interest. But if we get 5,000 likes or 500,000 likes, then it really does send a message. So a little bit of a favor. I've spoken on it too much already, but it does help. I appreciate it. So with that, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Have a happy Thanksgiving from my family to yours. You guys stay safe, be strong, stay vigilant, stay active, and stay in the fight. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.